If you are connected to the insurance industry in any way, or if you've turned on the news today, I'm sure you're aware that the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, was brutally murdered, or rather assassinated, in front of a hotel in New York City this morning, in the early hours of the morning. And it's really shocking. It's a dark day for the world. It's a dark day for our country and for our industry. And the reasons are unknown, and based on the professional killing that we witnessed, if you've watched the video, it's unlikely that we will ever know what the motives were. And so already online, a lot of people are putting their reasons in and saying what they think the reasons are. A lot of it have to do with the insurance company, United Healthcare being a large insurance company, him being the CEO of the company, people being denied care. I've seen all kinds of things. Some of them just make me sick, honestly. I saw one person say, a prominent person, I'm not talking about some random person, I'm talking about someone prominent in society, saying, well, you know, we shouldn't celebrate the death of a CEO of an insurance company. Yeah, they're all greedy. But, and in that comment, that comment actually disgusts me. The idea, you just say, yeah, they're all greedy. And so it made me do some digging, and I want to share some information with you. And then I want to talk about some of the problems in our healthcare industry. And I want to take a moment in defense of insurance companies and explain that insurance companies are the payers for a broken healthcare system. They're not the creators of a broken healthcare system. And maybe making some changes to how insurance is formed and how it is administered could help the healthcare system. But in and of itself, it is not the problem or the cause. And that probably is going to be I don't know that people agree with me on that, and people can argue with me on that, but just hear me out. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the quote-unquote greedy CEOs. And before I do this, let me just say, my heart is really broken for Brian Thompson and his family. He has a wife, he has 2 kids, he's 50 years old. He's a person. And by all accounts, he's a very good person. So, you know, this person has died. And if he had been in some other position, if he had not been the CEO of United Healthcare, he would still be alive. He was killed because of the position he holds. And that's, of course, we don't know that for sure, but it's got to be 99% probability, right? If he had not been the CEO of United, what would cause someone to assassinate him? So I want to remember who he was and remember that we're talking about a person's life here and his family before I talk about insurance in the industry. So let's talk about these comments about greedy CEO. United Healthcare is number 4 on the Fortune 500 list. So it's the 4th largest company in the world. The largest company in the world is Walmart. The CEO of Walmart, I looked it up, their compensation most recent year was $27 million. The 2nd largest company in the world is Amazon. I looked it up, the Amazon CEO compensation, approximately 31 million. The 3rd largest company in the world, Apple. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, his compensation, 63 million. The 4th largest company in the world, United Healthcare, Brian Thompson's compensation, 10 million. So 1/3 of what other comparable CEOs of that class are receiving. So when you say greedy CEO, well, first of all, consider that companies of a comparable size are receiving, their CEOs are receiving 3 to 6 times the compensation. What about other healthcare people? So I thought, well, you know what, let's look at hospitals. That's an interesting question. What about hospitals? What about a company like Dignity Health? They have a lot of hospitals, right? And I don't mean to single out just one. There's Dignity. I also looked up HCA. But large hospital companies, what are their CEOs being paid? Well, guess what it is? It's in the 30 million range. So you have the CEO of the largest health insurance company in the world receiving a $10 million comp package. The CEO of a relatively small by comparison company that runs hospitals receiving a 30 million package. Just from that, right there, just that simple information that you know the truth about now, what can you extrapolate? Well, by the way, the revenue of these hospital companies is like a tenth that of the revenue of United Healthcare. So with a tenth of the revenue, 3 times the compensation for their executives. There's more money in being a hospital. There's more money in being a hospital than being an insurance company. What about compensation for drug companies? Oh my gosh, it's through the roof. There's way more money in a drug company than an insurance company, because an insurance company is helping to regulate the claims. They're not setting the prices. So this is not something that should be shocking to anyone. What an insurance company does is it aggregates the money so that to normalize the risk, meaning making it so that the risk is somewhat equal or more equalized across a population. And in addition to that, insurance companies are capped on how much they can have in profits. Hospitals aren't capped in their profits. Drug companies, my gosh, they're not capped in their profits. Medical groups, doctors groups, they're not capped in their profits. Everyone is profiting off of Medicare. Everyone's profiting off of healthcare. Everyone's profiting off of the Affordable Care Act. And the ones that are profiting the most are providers, are hospitals, are the systems. And so when people talk about United Healthcare being, and him being a greedy CEO, by the way, United Healthcare does have medical groups, and they have acquired medical groups. And some people are very opposed to that. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, honestly. I don't know if I like the idea of an insurance company having all that power from controlling the inflow of money and the outflow of services to that degree. So I have questions about that myself. But if you have an issue with that, then take that to your congressman. Like, let's fix the system. But why would we attack the people who are working within the system and are not doing it in an illegal way? Look, I have more that I could say today, except I can't, because I'm losing my voice, if you can't tell. But I am just shocked today. And my heart is broken for the family of Brian Thompson, for his wife and his 2 sons. And I'm also frustrated with the way that insurance companies are being portrayed as the evil, because they're the easy scapegoat. It's what you see. But what you see is not always the cause of the cost that you face and the cost of the system, especially not when we're talking about insurance. So my condolences to Brian Thompson and his family. My heart is broken for you, and I'm very sorry, and I feel like today is a terrible day. That's all I can say today.